Two, one. I'm Pio. This is Nifty Culture. And this evening, I have the pleasure of speaking with two of the creators. I want to get the name right of the Chibi Legends of the Warring Kingdoms NFT project, which is a play to earn game. How's it going, fellas?
Hey, pleasure to be here, Pio.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Absolutely. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about the project, and then we'll kind of dive in.
Sure, I guess I'll start. So my name is Ted. Everyone knows me by Wago in the NFT community. So everyone knows me as a collector. I've been part of this NFT scene, I would say, since February, which feels that's months, but it feels like years in NFT time, of course. But my professional experience is actually in gaming. So I've actually been working in mobile gaming and esports since 2013. I had the pleasure of working with a lot of studios that made a lot of cool games, like such as Zynga, previous studio called Roadhouse Interactive, worked on a lot of cool mobile titles. And the funny thing is, I never thought about going back into games. I've been doing startup entrepreneurship stuff for the past couple of years. I was actually creating a mobile application that was kind of more for the creator economy. But, since getting into NFTs, like NFTs has just drained my time, but, in a positive manner, right? And, it got to the point where I think it's very relatable to a lot of people now. It's just, if I'm spending so many hours of my life and just, buying NFTs, interacting with the community, and seeing the growth of this scene, and especially, being such closely associated with what's happening right now. I just figured, why not just make this into what I'm doing, on a day-to-day basis, right? And so I pivoted my company. I gathered my team and, basically put our brains together and think about, okay, what is it that we want to do? What excites us, right? And I'll stop there because, I can talk all day about what led to us doing this project and where we're going with it. But yeah, here we are, and we're, about to launch Chibi Legends of the Warring Kingdoms this Friday.
Awesome. Well, I've been in NFTs since February too, and I wish that I was in your position where I had already figured out how to pivot it to my full-time job. So props to you on that, and I'm very jealous. Yeah, Danny, what about you?
So, hi everyone. I'm Danny. I go by Danny Ukes on Twitter, but just Dan Verna. That's just my name. I don't know, dox myself early because why not? And so I got started back in November, and I actually got started because Axie Infinity. Like I stumbled upon Axie Infinity, and I made the connection like play to earn, and like I equated it to like buying skins in like League of Legends or Fortnite. So as soon as I made the connection, it was like done deal. I got it. So got into Top Shot, got into Nifty Gateway, which is how me and Ted met, and just time went on and kind of played the game, so to speak, and I was really fortunate to people kind of call me a guru or whatever, but on the reality is I just kind of take a lot of swings. If it's like baseball, like my batting average is like 0.3, which is like not bad, but my biggest hits are like ghosts and cool cats and even weird whales. I made a good amount of money off of those, and so people kind of value some of the kind of my eye, I guess, and some of the projects I call out, but that's not really like I like to think of myself as more of a collector, because flipping is fun and all, but that's kind of not a winning mentality, because when you collect things, you have the foresight. Like you don't want to buy something that you think is garbage because it's gonna sell for more. It's like you want to buy something that maybe is a little expensive, but down the line it either has utility or it's going to raise in value. And that's why I like to align myself with teams that I think do that. And so the first major team that I worked with was BYO Pills, and they put me under contract like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of their launch. And it was the same thing I'm doing for Chibis, where it was a mix of like advising as well as marketing, and it worked out really well. We had pretty successful sellout, and the floor was down for a little bit, and now it's people are kind of coming around and seeing the value now that we've rolled out. We have the Trip Replicator app, which is really cool, and we have the Apostles coming up, which is part of our Mint Pass thing. So BYO Pills are on the come up, and then leading up to now present day, it's Chibis. Like Chibis are excellent. The way I see it is that you have to look at the team, and as we just heard Ted talk about, like his team is kind of handpicked and crafted to take on this new challenge, and I'm just really excited about it. Really, I'm excited to be on this team and help them out and really kind of find our way, because that's the thing that brought me in, is play to earn, and that's kind of what I really want to associate my name with. So we're going for it, and I'm couldn't be more excited.
That's awesome. It sounds like you actually make money in the NFT space. So you're kind of the opposite of me, who always just loses money. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk about Chibi Legends here. So I got the site pulled up. It looks like, it's okay. So I'm going to pull up the map, I guess. What can you guys tell us? Like, what is it about this project that's different? This is some very cool art right here. What's different about this project than some of the other projects that we're seeing come out right now?
Yeah, I guess I'll start, and I'd love to kind of hear Dan's thoughts as well. But when we first came up with the concept, right? So I mean, nowadays everyone looks at all these things that are coming out and thinks that, oh, I can make a better animal PFP project, right? Or I can make the next Axie Infinity. But coming from the gaming space, right? What I did was actually look at a map of what are the games that are out there. When you think about what NFT games are out there, 90% of them are kind of like RPG or RPG based games, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just what the creators are familiar with. But what I saw personally was that the whole NFT gaming economy is going to disrupt the hell out of PC, console, mobile gaming, just for the fact that play to earn puts the power in a position of the let me rephrase that. It gives powers to the collectors and the players, right? Because back then, 100% of the revenue that's made to the game goes to the game publishers, the game developers. But with play to earn, you actually have to develop an economy that favors those that are invested into your game. The people that are spending the hours playing your game, grinding for the tokens like in Axies, and the people that are actually purchasing your NFTs to play the game, again, such as Axies or crypto raiders and such. And so from that approach, I was thinking about what are some opportunities for games that have failed to monetize well in the traditional platforms, but can do well under this play to earn ecosystem, right? And so that, along with just kind of my personal passion. I'm a big collectible card game player. I was really into Teamfight Tactics when that first came out in League of Legends. I actually won my first local esports tournament playing that game. I suck now, but back then when it first came out, I was like spending like 8 hours a day playing it. And so, I just love that concept, right? I love the fact that auto battlers were not getting the love that it deserved because it was not making money for the likes of Riot and the likes of Blizzard with Hearthstone Battlegrounds and of course Dota. But a lot of people love the game. It's just they were not getting love from the publishers. But with play to earn, there's this whole potential of now bringing a game, a gameplay that's beloved by millions of people, and actually allowing them to earn money through the game. And of course, from the collection aspiration, I've always loved the Three Kingdoms lore. Obviously, being an Asian dude, I'm a lot more familiar with it. It's just but there's a lot of games that are based on Three Kingdoms, right? Most popular being Dynasty Warriors, right? The hack and slash game back in the PlayStation days. It's still very popular now, and so we just wanted to bring that to life. And one last combination that a lot of our soon-to-be collectors have pointed out: Maple Story. Yes, thank you, Henry. It popped out just in time. We were
That's crazy.
we loved Chibi style art. We love Maple Story, and that art style was just something that kind of inspires, because it has longevity. It's not something that people look at and say that, oh, okay, I'm going to be bored of this next month, right? We want to build an IP that has the potential to be around for years and years to come. And so, the artist that we're working with is, in 8+ years experience, artist for a Japanese studio, also a female artist worth pointing out. And she has knocked it out of the park with the art that she's done for us so far. And so, we're excited to continue building this world through this Genesis NFT launch.
Badass. Danny, from your perspective as someone that's coming from getting in NFTs with play to earn, what do you view this project as kind of being in the medium, in the short term, the medium term? And then, if you want to talk a little bit about what you see play to earn kind of being just for the industry in general for the long term, I'd love to hear it, because I think that we're going to hear this phrase play to earn a lot for a long time.
Definitely, and I would even go as far as to say that it's a buzzword, and a lot of people just kind of throw it around, and a lot of teams throw it around, and that's kind of why I'm going so in with the Chibis, is because, like, to begin with, like, the first point of contact, like, Ted is established, like, he's done this in the past. How many of the projects that we're buying into are teams of two people, a dev and an artist, who are talking about, we're going to do an NFT game and, all this stuff. And it's just kind of like, I always say it, I literally every day I say it at this point, but we buy a lot of promises, and some of those promises are never going to be seen to fruition. And I genuinely believe that this one will, just because for a multiple number of factors, honestly. One, because I think people, like you guys were talking about, like with Maple Story, people are going to resonate with the art and just kind of the aesthetic of it. People love taking chances on games. The supply is limited, so there's only 5,555 of them, which, might play into it. And, that's just the beginning. But you asked the question about how I feel about the potential of play to earn long term. And, it really... it's crazy how there is no cap on the potential. Like, I literally imagine a world where my grandmother is playing Candy Crush and earning money from playing Candy Crush. Like, that is where we're gonna be, and it'll take some time to get there. But, like, when I have a hard enough time with NFTs when I talk to, my family and friends, but when I start talking about play to earn, like, that's a whole other conversation that they're just like, what are you talking about? And it's just like, it's just, and it's so crazy because I don't know how often you guys do it, but every once in a while I'll have a conversation about this stuff with someone who's totally green on NFTs and stuff. And they'll be like, dude, like, I have no idea, like, even how to respond. And it's like, one day you will. And I urge you to go try to figure it out in the meantime. So, yeah, I think, and like, it's insane. Play to earn, NFT gaming, definitely, most certainly the future. Like, there's no question about it, right? Like, there's really, like, why wouldn't it be the future? Unless, like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know.
Perfect marriage, right? It's just like a perfect marriage. Like,
yes.
My friend kind of laid it up to me like, video games have been looking for this sort of like permanent tokenization. Now it's easy to say that, but really just like some sort of sense of permanence for the items that you get in the game and the things that you work for in the game that do have value to other people, right? Like some super rare item or some really good weapon or something like that in a game has value to another person. But instead of having it like licensed by the publisher, now you have true ownership of it. So it's just this perfect marriage, this natural connection. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that. So I'd love to hear about the game itself, just like what people can expect when they play it, what the theme of the game is. Is it turn-based? Is it live action? Those are basically the buzzwords that I know for games in 2021. So bear with me if I didn't name what applies to it. But yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit about that stuff.
Yeah, so what we're looking to build is actually a gaming universe, right? And it sounds really ambitious, but that's the goal we want. So coming from the mobile gaming scene, and touching upon a point that you just mentioned, actually, and this is something that is kind of really close to heart with me, is the fact that publishers have 100% control over whether a game lives or dies, right? I've had the unfortunate experience of working on multiple titles that shut down. During times when the title was actually profitable, but the studio deemed that we don't want to keep this live operations going because it's not as profitable as the new games, right? And so people that have spent not just thousands of dollars, but hundreds of hours of their lives playing this game, and suddenly you just axe everything, and it sucked. It sucked dealing with the players that suddenly just get cut off from this community and they get nothing in return, right? And so yeah, that's really a big appeal for me personally going into NFT gaming. The fact that there can always be rug pulls, right? But I feel with the decentralization of governance and the ownership, being in the hands of the people that purchase the NFTs, it really changes that landscape a little bit. And so going into what we want to accomplish with the gaming universe. So one thing that we actually have just launched yesterday. So on the website, you'll see a story tab. And so this is actually something that we've built first as a way to build our lore, is mini interactive stories. So kind of like, I guess the thing that's most relatable to people is the dating simulators, right? You play them like, or the Netflix Bandersnatch movie, right? You play a game, you make a choice, and it comes to a different ending screen. So we made the prelude chapter to this interactive story game. So there is only one ending to this one. It's just for people to experience the game. But in the future, we will be rolling out different chapters of this game. And the choices that people make in this game will actually have an impact to us to decide what's more popular and what will become the lure of the Chibi Legends world. So that's kind of the first thing that we'll be doing to inject a bit of gaming to this NFT collection. The next thing we plan to do is obviously taking advantage of the NFT ecosystem, which is using the blockchain to obviously do tokenization. So we will be launching tokens. I won't go into details, but if you played Axie, you can probably imagine what it can be like with us as well. Why we call this the Genesis launch is because these are going to be the first and only batch of legends that you will be able to get from a drop. We might have other mechanisms to introduce new legends in the future, but that's just way beyond. Like, we're not going to be like keep minting legends, right? Instead, what we want to put that power in the hands of our collectors, right? We want our player population to grow from the people that hold out Genesis Chibi Legends. And so again, I won't go into details, but I think everyone can use the imagination to think about how that would happen, especially with the introduction of tokens. And then of course the final part is the actual core game itself. So as I mentioned, it's going to be an auto battler. It's going to be something across between the lines of Teamfight Tactics, which is the auto battler game from League of Legends Riot, and also inspired by a bit of Hearthstone Battlegrounds, which is the kind of Hearthstone copycat of Teamfight Tactics, but also made to be a little bit more accessible, a little bit more fun and friendly. So like I said, I played a lot of those games. I think those games are very appealing in terms of the gameplay, but do have the flaws. One of the flaws obviously is that the game, each game session can be quite long. So just like playing a whole League of Legends match, it could be like up to like 40, 50 minutes. So we in our design right now are thinking of ways, or not thinking of ways, we actually have designs to kind of speed things up a little bit, but also keep intact that competitive gameplay and to allow up to 6 people to play per match. And so it's a genre that if you're not familiar with, might sound a little bit exotic, but we want to make the onboarding kind of easy for people that are not familiar with auto battlers as well. But yeah, that's going to be the core game. Obviously, we have big plans to roll that out through different phases. And Henry just asked a question if it's completely mobile. The goal is for us to make it cross-platform. Currently, we are aiming to do PC first, but that might change depending on some of the technical scopes that we're looking into right now. But yeah, the goal is that this will be something that you can play across different platforms.
Very cool. I hope that answered your question, Henry. I think it did directly. And yeah, Danny, anything to add there?
There's so much said. I think I don't know. Honestly, I think Ted kind of caught it all. I think the most exciting thing is just like really the story tab. I don't know if you want to go through it on like so people can see it, or if you want people to experience it for themselves, but like even though it seems like a small thing, like that's something that will be ongoing. So like as like it's almost like inviting people back on the way through the roadmap, because like with any project, obviously it's going to take time, but with this one, we're upfront saying like, hey, this one is going to take some time, but we want you guys to be here along the way and help us make decisions that form how the game comes out. And I think there's a lot of value in that. I think not a lot of people, like, obviously a lot of creators listen to what their community has to say and takes, that into account. But with this, it's more like directly like, yes, we have the power to say we want this storyline instead of this one, or we want this to do this instead. So that's the big picture, and I think that's a really great way to continue to engage people, because it's hard to fill a few months and even weeks of time with anything. And so to know that we have a solid foundation to continually do that is, that's just great. And I think people are going to really admire that and come back to it often.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely fair to say. So I went to pull up the story tab. I don't know if that makes for the stream. I like these kind of avatars that you guys have given yourself. Yeah, you went with the goatee, huh?
Actually, she's our kind of marketing lead. Also, someone that I've worked with for a long time. Yeah, she decided how we look like with the Chibi. So basically, she had all the assets and she just kind of put them together. I don't know. She gave me the goatee. So.
Nice. I like this one with the red hair a lot. Like, I like the colorful. Yeah, the colorful stuff is cool, and there's definitely.
Yeah, Danny's topless because
I got that's how we imagine.
Nice. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, really cool stuff. So what's the story with when this is going to happen? Do you guys have a timeline? What's going on there?
I mean, the drop is this Friday, so that's going to be kind of a big milestone. And I want to be completely transparent, just being from the gaming industry. You can deliver a game with a 100K budget, or you can deliver a game with a multiple million budget, right? And so, unlike other projects, we are committed to deliver a roadmap, right? Every cent earned from the sale, along with our own war chest, will go into building up the game. But of course, the more funds you have as a team, as a company, the more you'll be able to do. So this is kind of the first step for us to both validate the product, and also for us to kind of better grasp, okay, what is the scope, right? Can we hire 2 additional people or 4 additional people? Can we hire a junior artist or a senior artist, right? So these are the kind of decisions as an entrepreneur and as a executive producer for a game has to take into account. And so this is really kind of a big milestone. And so, crossing fingers, everything will go well with the sale. But yeah, I mean, we're not greedy or ambitious. Obviously the pricing and the amount of chibis that we are selling speaks for itself. We're not trying to do a cash grab and then be like, see a piece, So, we have a long-term roadmap of what we want to build. And so, I think your question was asking about the. Sorry, I was getting sidetracked a little bit here.
No, but I love what you just said. So, like, what people need to understand, I'm the same way too. So people in the NFT space, a lot of times, like, a project drops and it's like when moon, right? That's like what people are all about. They're all about either like a quick flip or something like that. But like you said, you can make a video game for $100,000, or you can make a video game for $1 million. And this isn't like, making, I don't know, a music video or something. Like, this is something that you have a staff of people working on. There's people that are working on the art. There's more people working on the programming. It's like a really, intense, like labor intensive process. So with something like this, people that, buy into it should really do proper research and understand what they're buying into, or, take a flyer on it, buy one thing, give it a shot and try to figure it out and not financial advice, obviously, but basically trying to say, like, you guys are going to use, the funds that are accumulated to actually build, right? And for example, if I look at another project, not a video game based project, but a project that, has been building consistently for a while and is now seeing real success, is the Top Dog Beach Club, which we've featured on this channel a number of times, right? They sold out. Their sellout took a little bit of time, and then they dropped below their mint price. People were exiting the project, but that slow, gradual build that coincided with the work that they were putting into the project has led to them now finally catching a bit of fire, having some celebrity influence that wasn't paid for. It was 100% organic, and their floor is sitting at like, a half ETH at this point, and it's continuing to climb. So if people are looking at this project, they should ask themselves, do I believe in this project long term? And if so, what can I do to kind of get involved playing the game, participating in the Discord and things like that. So I know that's just like kind of a random rant, but the way you guys that are watching should think about this is not like buy it today and flip it 12 hours from now, right? It's a different kind of thing.
Yeah, and we're learning along the way as well. Obviously, Axie is a big influence in terms of seeing how they've built the game over time. I mean, obviously, Axie has just blown up recently, and people are just kind of hearing about it for the first time in these past months. But Dan will be the first to point out they've been around for years, right? And they still have so much coming out on the roadmap, right? People are literally buying Axie land without knowing what the heck they're going to be, done with this. So I mean, that's the exciting thing about NFTs. People are invested in the games themselves, and yeah, I mean, it really is up to the team to deliver up to these expectations, right? And so for us, this is kind of the first tiny step, obviously, but we have ambitious plans, and as well, we've looked at some best practices from other projects, because what's really important to me personally is delivering value for the collectors, right? Because I'm a collector myself. I've seen what projects have given me value, not just from flipping, but from being a holder, right? So I'll give a shout out to one of my favorite projects, Crypto Raiders. So when we bought, I was literally one of the first guys that bought it along with my community of collectors. Shout out to the underground. But yeah, I mean, they were being sold at like 0.015, the Tammys and the Mikes and the old vans. And, we had no idea what we were buying. But little did we know that, they started to actually release, more information about the game. You can go dungeon crawling now. And more importantly, they launched the tokens, which they just airdropped to the collectors. So it was, instant liquidity that they gave to the people that believed in the project, and made a lot of people a lot of good money, right? So and to this day, those people are still holding on to it, and they're staking their tokens instead of cashing them out. And so I think that sets a good precedence in terms of what a NFT gaming project can do to create value for the collectors, even though the game is still in development. So I'm obviously not going to 100% say we're going to do the same thing, but let's just say that they've been an inspiration for us, and we'll be studying them as long as other NFT games for best practices.
Awesome. And I saw that James Lee in the audience told Danny to clean his room. My response to James Lee is, Danny's room is what a 2021 millionaire looks like. Haven't you seen the meme?
Stop.
There's the meme where it's like 1984 millionaire, and it's like a scene from Wall Street. Anyway,
my place is a mess. I'm blaming it on vacation, but I got back a week and a half ago, so I don't know.
Vacation and NFTs, man.
Yeah.
Well, look, so where can people find you? So we got, your Twitters right here, and also the @Chibi NFT Twitter. The website is chibi.gg, so chibi.goodgame, chibi.gg. Check that out. Where else can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, we have a Discord. I mean, that's starting to be a lot more lively ever since we announced some of our giveaways. So that would be the kind of central place to be able to contact the team, as well as meet other fellow collectors or people that want to collect. And we've been having a lot of good discussions about things that are were asked in this interview, as well as what to expect for the drop. So some of the things that I've been addressing recently is expectations for gas prices, for instance, right? Again, as a fellow collector, I have been quite agitated by the high gas prices as of late. But it's part of our marketing strategy as well, right? I mean, there's a reason why we didn't want to go super viral with this, right? I come from a product marketing background, and it's rare that I have to hold off from going too crazy in terms of getting the word out there, because the market is hot right now. We have a solid product. People can see the art for themselves, but we also want the right people buying into the project, right? I don't want, no offense to sneakerheads. I love the sneakerheads, but they're looking to make a quick buck, right? But we want to provide long-term value. If Chibi's after launch suddenly blows up and takes off, then I'd be happy. So be it. But that also puts pressure on us to deliver on that value, right? But if we get the right people on board early and hold long term, I think the value of the project should speak itself. This is something that's totally out of our control, of course, but we've been careful to market the project in the right way with the right partners. So obviously something that we didn't quite mention today was some of the partners that we've lined up for this project. Thanks to Dan and also some of the people that have reached out. MetaKey, the Surats,
Nice.
yeah, BYO Pills, and some others that I won't name because we haven't officially announced it yet. But we definitely have some big name partners in this NFT gaming sphere that are looking to work with us once we get past this first step.
Sounds great. Well, everyone, make sure that you check out the drop. The drop's on Friday. You can go to the Twitter at Chibi NFT. Obviously, the Discord is going to be where it lives. It sounds like there's some giveaways going down. And make sure you follow Danny at his Twitter handle right there. Apparently, there's a little bit of alpha that goes out. A little bit of alpha.
Tons of alpha. I seriously, when I see Danny tweet about a project, instant. And we didn't even talk about.
I get stressed about it. I get stressed about it because. Like, I tweet some stupid shit sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's sometimes where I'll tweet something like, this kind of looks cool. And then it's like, oh, it was a rug pull. Sorry, guys. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's... I only work for two teams. I only take money from two teams. So anything else, I'm just narrating my own moves. So let's leave it at that. But yeah, thanks for having us on. It was we really appreciate it and getting it out to your audience and, making the connection. So that's really awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. You guys are welcome anytime. Everybody, make sure you check out the project. Thank you for watching and see you fellas later.